Okay, hello, welcome everyone to our TM7 demonstration this evening. I'm glad for you to join us. We have our Thermomix TM7 here, our smart connected kitchen. So today I'm going to show you a few different modes. We're going to cook a few different dishes. But the main thing I would love each of you to ask yourselves, and you can put it in the chat if you want, is what's important to you when it comes to cooking? So I'm looking to know whether you care about being quick or making healthy food or saving money or just you just like the taste of it. Maybe you hate cooking, maybe you love cooking. Those are the kinds of things I want you to ask yourself because it's good for you to know what you care about when you're in the kitchen. So yeah, so we have our Thermomix here. We have a few different, I'm just going to show you quickly the screens, the different screens we have. So on my home screen, this is customizable, so you can change it. But I have my planned recipes here, and then it goes into my bookmarks and my recently cooked and whatever's trending, those kinds of things. My next tab is the search bar. So this is within Cookidoo where there are thousands of recipes. So I could just come and search something here by typing that in. I'm going to show you more about Cookidoo later. Then the next tab is my organized recipes. So I've got my recently cooked, my bookmarks, I've got lists, and I've got the recipes I've created. Again, more on that later. Now, this page is our modes page. So we have lots of different modes you can do on the TM7. I'm going to start on manual mode, and I'll get around and sort of talk about these a bit later as well. And then lastly, we have our different settings that you can change around as well. So those are the different screens. I'm going to try and show you as much as I can while we cook this evening. But to get started, we're going to start with dessert because why not? That's fun, right? So I am going to go into manual mode, and I do want to show you, some of you have previous model Thermomixes and you might be interested to know how manual mode works on the TM7. Um, Actually, before I get cooking, I'll just show you what we have here. We have uh it's 2.2 liters up to the max line, and then we've got a buffer, which so it's about 2.6 to the top, but like we want to stay in the max line. We've got Solingen steel blades, high grade stainless steel bowl, and our insulated cover that opens with this lever so that you can pull the blades out and pull your bowl out as well. So and all the parts are dishwasher safe. I tend to hand wash because that's just my preference. Putting it back together is super easy as well. Just twist the lever the other way. Um, and then, yeah, we have our unit here, big and beautiful screen um, that is just so fabulous and easy to work with. Even when it's messy or wet, it's still very responsive and it's very fast to respond. We have our lid. I'm going to show you the other parts as we go. But so first of all, I am just in manual mode cooking. So I am putting on my scales to make our dessert. I'm making Fruity Dream, which is a family favorite here and something we love to do to show off the Thermomix because it does so much. I've turned on my scale, so you don't need to use measure cups. You just grab your ingredients straight out of the pantry and pour it in. And I want 80 grams of sugar to follow the recipe. Now, when you are cooking this for yourself, you're in control. You can reduce that sugar down if you want to. And I should also point out, I am going to be showing you guided cooking, the easier way to cook in the Thermomix, but I'm starting with manual mode first, just so you can all get an idea of how it all works. So I've put my lid on, and now I want to mill that sugar on speed 10, and I just press play. Hang on, I want to show you better. So I've come here on my manual mode. This is my timing. So I can choose minutes, seconds. I'll actually just choose 10 seconds. I can choose a temperature, but I don't want to for this. And I'm milling on speed 10. And then you just press play. And it's off. It's doing something very exciting right now. Because I've put in raw sugar. Where did it go? I've put in raw sugar. And I want to show you what we've made with that. It's very exciting. And it's going everywhere. It's been like brilliant. That's icing sugar now. So we've powdered our own sugar. And if you're wondering why we would do that instead of just buying icing sugar, maybe have a think. But for me, I I like knowing what's in all my food. So there's no additives in this sugar, milled it myself, but it's also a cost saver. So for those who said you care about saving money, this is another thing. If you're milling and grinding all your own and processing your own raw ingredients rather than buying them pre-processed, you are saving money along the way as well. And then for those who care about health, it is, you know, no additives so that you know what's in it. And it's pretty quick, 10 seconds. I am putting in an egg white and I've just put in my butterfly whisk. Sorry, I should have shown you. I have a butterfly whisk here. This goes on top. Now this one is for all your whipping. I am going to do this. We are making an Italian meringue. So I'm setting it for 65 degrees. I'm just using my finger to tumble that along and I'll press play. So it's on speed 4, which is our whipping speed. So I'm just going to do that for a minute and make sure there's none on the blades and then do it for another minute. But yeah, basically, you can whip egg whites for pavlova. The butterfly is also good for whipping cream. Making your own butter. Yes, you can make your own butter. I also like to use it to make mayonnaise. So yeah, the butterfly is a really great tool for any of your whipping. And now, so we've got the temperature control in the Thermomix. So 65 degrees is that Italian meringue temperature. So you'll see that it'll be nice and glossy as it whips, as the egg white whips with the sugar. So yeah, just a few more seconds for that one. But yeah, no, that's all good. So yeah, if you're thinking about back to the sugar, what else would you process yourself? There's a few things in tonight's demo that I'll show you that I've done myself in the Thermomix. So that's already looking pretty good, but I'm just going to make sure there's no raw egg white up on my blades. It's looking okay. And a little bit of a scrape. So this is a good way if you ever have any recipes that use raw egg white. If you just cook it and whip it a little bit first, where it only takes 2 minutes, then you know it is food safe for those who can't eat raw eggs. Because I know there's some people who can't have raw eggs. So this is great for them. So another minute to make sure it comes up to temperature. And then the next ingredient is our frozen fruit, and that's it. So it's just sugar and egg white and our frozen fruit. So I've got fruit here. I've got strawberries and mango, and I've just had it sitting in my thermo server for about 5 minutes while I set up the rest of the demo, because our thermo servers keep our food hot or cold for a couple of hours. They're really great. So that hasn't, defrosted or anything. It's still very frozen. And just one thing to know when you are processing frozen things in your Thermomix is not to have giant clumps. So I kind of went through and made sure none of the fruit was in one big clump. You know, sometimes it is when it's in a packet. Yeah, so that's all good to go. And yeah, that's good. That's enough. And the last, I need to take my butterfly out, but don't send it too far because we're going to use that again soon. I'll show you our meringue here. Beautiful. And remember, that's only 1 egg white, so that's doing really well. Putting the fruit in, and you'll definitely hear this. This is when you get to hear how powerful the Thermomix is at 10,600 revs per minute, 10,300 revs a minute. Sorry. I'm just going to turn that on. I don't know if you can hear it. So with the TM7, the insulated bowl does help make it quieter than previous models. But when you're doing loud things like blitzing fruits, frozen fruits in a stainless steel bowl, you're still going to hear it, which is what we can hear at the moment. I'm just going to give that a scrape. So it's been 35 seconds. I'll give it a scrape and we will I'll just show you. But it looks like that so far. So it's already looking really good, but that's not enough for us yet. So I'm just scraping it down from around the edges, making sure all the fruit gets processed evenly. But I'm already excited by this beautiful color. So when you make your fruity dream, you get to choose your flavors. So I've done mango and strawberry today, but you may like pineapple or banana or like literally just whatever, mixed berries. And you can buy the fruit in bags. And I like to just keep it in my freezer at all times because this is a very popular dish in our house. It's a healthy dairy-free ice cream alternative. So what's not to love? Um, I'll stop it there. It's been a minute now. But the other thing you can do if you want to save money is whatever fruit you have bought fresh and maybe you're finished with it and you're not going to be using it, you can just slice it and freeze it yourself. So that's what we have so far. And already it looks like something that would be pretty delicious, just the way it is. But we are not done because I want to show you what will happen when we put this butterfly back in and really whip it. Um, so this is going to be back on speed 4. And yeah, you can't hear it very much because the motor is silent. All I can hear is the fruit whipping around. So it's pretty good. Um, yeah. So probably only a minute to whip this and we'll be ready to go. So this, yeah, we love this fruity dream because it's quite a healthy way of eating ice cream. And you're totally in control of all the ingredients. And it's pretty cheap and pretty quick. Mm. And I'd love to know if anyone here has already made it. If you have, put it in the chat. I want to know what your favorite fruit is. Or if you did get a Thermomix, what flavor fruity dream would you make? Okay, here we go. It's been 55 seconds, so I'm going to give that a stop now and show you. This is the beautiful moment where I get to show you that swirl. Look how beautiful that is. And oh, Nicola says mango is her favorite. So I'll show you this texture is just like so soft. It's a beautiful soft serve ice cream that's dairy free, thanks to that Italian meringue. Now, alternates, if you um, were vegan or had people coming who were vegan, you could use coconut cream, or there's actually a recipe called Vegan Fruity Dream where you use a banana. So you've got frozen fruit and then a fresh banana, which helps cream it up. It won't cream it as much as this, but it does a pretty good job. It's quite a good recipe. And if you want it a bit thicker, like this is a very soft serve recipe, there's another one called frozen fruit ice cream, which uses cream. So instead of whipping it up in a light kind of texture, it's a bit heavier and it's, uses that cream to make it creamy. Okay, I am going to take out that butterfly. This is like where you want someone, you need a child to come and lick the whisk, lick the beater. You want it? And I have my daughter here next to me. She's like, yes, that sounds good. And then, yeah, just scraping out the spatula is quite long, so it does a really good job of actually scraping through the whole bowl. Um, yeah, I think I've almost got it all. And you can see how much it makes. Like that serves a lot of people for a nice summery treat. So I've shown you milling, I've shown you the scales, milling, blending, and whipping with that dessert. I'm going to get you to wash that up. I'll set this aside. The kids will come and eat that while we are chatting in my thermoserver to keep it cold. Oh, Debbie's saying she makes it all the time. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I do also want to just show you the rest of the modes we have here. So, clean mode, I will be showing you later as well, but basically it cleans itself because why not? You love a machine that can clean itself. You just choose what kind of recipe you have just finished making and then press play and it will do a clean for you. I'm going to be showing you dough and browning. Steaming is something that I didn't have plans for. Oh, actually, I'm showing you the Varoma, but I'll show you the simmer basket. So the Varoma we're going to be using a little bit later, so I'll put that there. But the simmer basket sits inside, so you can be steaming within there as well, and you can steam two things at the same time. So you can have this below, and then the Varoma above. So you can be doing multi-layered cooking. And we're a family of six, so we do a lot of multi-layered cooking. So love that. And so on steam mode, you would just choose here whether you are using the basket, the Varoma, or both together. Then we have turbo mode, which is a really quick pulse, like just a burst. Blend mode we did earlier. Egg boiler is kind of cool. You put your eggs right down in the bottom of the bowl and the blades won't move so that you can come in here and choose how you like your eggs. You put your eggs in, add the water and press play. Then we have open cooking, which I'm going to show you later. Kettle mode, it's just as it sounds. You choose a target temperature for your water or milk or whatever you're wanting to reheat, and it will sing out when it reaches that temperature. Same as warm up, but with warm up, it does a little bit more of a comprehensive job, making sure there's no hot or cold spots anywhere and does a good, gentle reheat. And it has a little guide that shows you what temperatures to use because you may not know how to warm up your food without a microwave. Rice cooker is the absorption method of cooking rice. So the blades will only move for a minute to stir it all together and then they'll actually stop to let it sit and so that the rice can absorb in the water. Then we have thicken mode. So this is for your sauces. So making custard, gravy, bechamel, those types of things, hollandaise. So you're not setting a time or a temperature. You're just putting in the ingredients and pressing play and it is going to cook it for you and tell you when it's ready. And again, there's tips if you aren't sure how to use it. All the modes have tips, very handy. Slow cook mode goes up to 8 hours, so you can set and forget. This one is where the blades move sort of every 15 minutes or so to give it a stir, and otherwise it just sits there. Fermentation mode for making your yogurt or rising dough, those types of things. And then we have sous vide mode here as well, where you get a really specific temperature. Because if you have chefy people, they will tell you that, 51 is different to 52 when you're cooking a steak. Like it makes a big difference to the texture of the protein that you're trying to cook. So that's sous vide mode, which is really great as well. And then we have a few modes down the bottom. Now, these ones are for use with extra attachments that are optional extras. At the moment, the Cutter Plus, which grates, slices, and spiralizes, is one of our host rewards. And then it will be available for purchase once it's done being a host reward. And then there's just a guide on how to process different veggies or ingredients down the bottom. So, it's not a recipe, but it's a good guide. Like you think, oh, I don't know how to mill coffee beans. Can you tell me? And you just choose it and it will set it and you go, that kind of thing. So you can play around with that guide as well. Cool. So that was a really quick run through. So you'll have to ask me if you've got questions after that. But I actually just want to start getting cooking. So I'm going to be making a creamy coconut chicken curry tonight. So we'll be showing you several other features of the Thermomix as we go along. Actually just need to, I'm sure she did, but make sure these are dry. My daughter just washed the bowl for me while I was going through those modes with you. Isn't she lovely? So this time I'm showing you guided cooking. This is my favorite way of using the Thermomix. I don't use manual mode that much because guided is so easy. So I'm going to have the screen down here a bit to show you what the screen says, and I'll sort of flip up to show you what I'm doing as well. But coming into the recipe, you can scroll down to see the ingredients, some useful information, the method, different tips. You can add your own notes to each recipe. There's a nutrition guide over here, different tags, and also the book that this recipe was featured in, and then recommendations of if you like this, you might also like this. So those recommendations are usually quite good as well. But if you are ready to begin, you just press start. Now, in the guided recipe, it's just all one long scroll. The scales come up when they're needed, so I will just start putting in my cauliflower, and I've just sort of chopped it in florets, and I didn't weigh this out. I just got what I had, so I don't know if it's going to be the correct amount or not. That doesn't matter. I'll press next. So we are going to be making cauliflower rice. So it told me to put the lid on. So once I do, then the green triangle is ready for you to press play. So this is going on reverse, speed 5. Does a nice little song when it's done. And I'll show you what we have. Done a really fabulous job of making cauliflower rice. So now the recipe, I press next and it tells me to set that aside into my varoma. I'm just tipping it in. Now, when I press next, it's asking me to do a bit more cauliflower because I happen to know that it actually does work in one big batch, but just so we're not putting so much pressure on the blades over time, we're just doing some things you do in 2 batches. So another few seconds for the rest of that cauliflower. And then you press next. And it's wanting me to transfer that with the rest of the cauliflower over back in the varoma. Now, the next step on the recipe asks us to clean and dry the bowl, but I'm not actually going to bother with that because I don't mind if there's a little bit of cauliflower remnants in my curry. That's not going to be a big deal to me if those little bits are in there. So I am just going to skip. Now I'll show you. You're allowed to skip the step whenever you want. Clean and dry the bowl. No, thank you. And now if I have skipped too far and I go, oh wait, hang on a minute, what was that again? You can scroll back up again and you can press the 3 dots and set that as your current step. So you can go back and forward as you please. But I did want to skip. So now it's asking me for my ginger. And if you get the exact amount that it wants, it automatically ticks itself. And I've got my garlic, and that one isn't a scale thing because it's a clove of garlic, so I'm ticking that myself. I am skipping the chili because if I want Mia to eat some of this, I can't have chili in it. So I'm at the step where it's asking me on the side to put my lid on. So it's just a matter of placing it on. We have a cap that you can also add, and it wants me to press play. So it's chopping. 3 seconds to chop your garlic, ginger, chili, whatever else you've got in there. And then just show you that. All beautifully chopped all along the sides. And we carry on and it smells amazing. It's telling me not to scrape the sides of the bowl because we're doing our onion next. So now this is where I am a little bit naughty. The recipe asks me to add the onion cut into wedges. I don't like chopping onions, so I've got 2 onions here, one small and one sort of medium. And I am just going to show you how you don't have to follow the recipe. You can. I'm pretty sure most people just follow this, but I'm a little bit naughty. So I'm going to go out and into my manual mode. And I'm going to chop these onions on speed 4 for a few seconds. So if I wanted the onion minced, I would go up to around speed 6 or 7. But because I want quite big pieces, I've done a low speed, speed 4, and that's the kind of thing that you get to learn over time. But most recipes just tell you what they want you to do. So that's fine. And now to get back to my recipe, I press this line up here and I can come back in at any time. And it's right back where we left off. So now I can add my oil. And as I'm adding, I'm watching over here to make sure I add the right amount. A little bit extra is okay. And then you press next, and now we're sauteing. So we have a few minutes. Now is where you would, oh, actually, I'll show you. Now is where you would do what I'm about to show you. You've got a few minutes. Before you started cooking, you didn't have anything ready except for your first couple of ingredients. Now you can scroll down and get your next ingredients ready. So you're going to go to your pantry and your fridge and get all these things that you need. And if you want to see the recipe in its entirety, you can come back here and be in it so that you can see, like maybe you want to look at the tips and the notes and whatever else, but that's here as well at any time. And when you want to go back to where you're at, you just come back from your control center, which is up the top. So that's sizzling away. And it's very quiet. The motor you can't hear, you can only hear the sizzle of the onions, which is cool. So what I want to show you in that time is a few different ingredients, really. The first one is the tandoori paste. So this is going to be in the next step. And this is homemade by me in the Thermomix. And the recipe is on there. So of course you can buy your own tandoori paste, but if you care about being authentic or additive free or saving money, these are the types of things you can let the Thermomix do for you. And if you want to buy it, that's fine too. Just because you have the Thermomix, you don't need to feel that pressure to make everything just because you can. For example, I did not make my own tomato paste for today, even though I know you can and I have done many times in the past. So it's okay. Do whatever you want to do. But back to milling, I remember earlier we milled that sugar. This is my homemade almond mill. So I've just throw in the almonds. It only takes 10 seconds on speed 10 to make your almond meal. And so it's just saving money, saving additives. It's very quick. If you want almond butter, carry on longer than the 10 seconds and it will start turning into an almond butter. So that's another thing you can do as well. You can make a lot of your staples in the Thermomix, like jam and peanut butter and chocolate hazelnut spread, those types of things. So you can actually save a lot of money if you have a look through your pantry or fridge or your shopping receipt and have a think about the types of things you normally purchase and consider whether that's something you could make yourself in the Thermomix. Yeah, I know, like when I first got mine, I was purchasing rice milk and yogurt and bread. And then once I started making of that myself, my machine paid itself off pretty quick, just in those cost savings. So that's something you can do as well. It's just still sauteing away. So once you've got your ingredients ready, you can leave the kitchen. You don't need to be here, sitting here. One of the great things about it is every time it's cooking, it has a countdown timer. So it's completely safe to leave. You can leave the house actually, because once that countdown timer finishes, the heat will stop and it will just sit there ready, waiting for you to come back whenever you are ready. And I can actually show you on your phone, wherever you are, it actually has the countdown on it there as well. So if you leave the house or you're upstairs or whatever, it's like, oh, okay, Thermomix is almost done. I'll get back there. Or it's done, but it's fine. I'm just going to leave it and come back to it whenever I'm ready. So the convenience of this and the safety of it as well. You know, I know before I had a Thermomix, there were plenty of times where I was sauteing garlic on the stove in some oil, and then I'd get distracted by a child or the front door or a phone call, and you come back and it's completely burned, and you've burned your pan and you've wrecked your ingredients. But in the Thermomix, everything is completely safe, and it's all just a formula, so the result is great every single time. So that's it's like a big. It just makes cooking really a calm, chill experience. Just yeah. And you never lose your spot in a recipe either because it's always just, okay, next. So I'll add my next, oh, so the onions has just been sauteing away and I'm just going to give it a scrape. So it's actually smelling very delicious. And we carry on. So we add that tandoori paste that I was talking about earlier. Oh, actually, I should have pointed out for those who have previous models, yeah, you can see once you take your lid off, it actually knows you've taken the lid off. So the scales go back to zero. So just little things like that, just I find really convenient about the TM7 where they've sort of improved the customer experience a little bit with some clever engineering. German engineering. The Thermomix comes from Germany. It's engineered over there and manufactured over in Germany and France. Um, it's really great. The next ingredient is tomato paste, the one that I didn't make myself, which is okay. And now we want some water. And after every single ingredient, the scales automatically go back to zero. You don't even have to tear them. So it's super convenient. As soon as you hear that tick, you know it's ready to go. And if the tick's not quick enough for you for whatever reason, you can tick it yourself. Okay, adding in that almond meal. And what else? The chicken. Okay. I am using chicken thigh, and the recipe does ask for chicken thigh. This is an Indian curry, so that's perfect for that. If you can use breast, but it does, I would chop it a bit bigger and possibly even cook it a bit less time because breast cooks a lot faster than thigh, and then once it's cooked, it can start to shred because of the nature of chicken breast. A little bit of salt, so that can go in as well. And that is the ingredients to our curry. While that cooks below, we are going to be steaming our cauliflower rice above. Now, this curry itself, um, we are told, and I've been told by many an Indian customer when I do this at their home, that this curry itself is a good, authentic Indian curry. But using cauliflower rice is a bit different. So this is just sort of something you can do to, I don't know, make it a bit more healthy if you care about cutting out carbs and adding more vegetables into your diet is using cauliflower rice. So I've got the Varoma at the top. The Varoma is 4.6 liters. And you can also add a tray if you want to. So if I wanted to be steaming greens at the same time, I could put that on top as well and be doing that, which I'm not particularly doing today, but that is something I often do, is adding some greens. So the curry cooking below, cauliflower rice cooking above, and you've got time, oh, to lose an AirPod. You've got time to leave the kitchen again. See how relaxing dinner time is. So if it takes you about 10 minutes to do that setup of getting your ingredients out, putting them in, pressing some buttons, I would love for you to have a think and answer to yourself, how long does it currently take me to make dinner? Now, if it only took me 10 minutes to cook dinner, what am I going to do with all that extra time? Um, so that's something you can have a think for yourself. I know how hectic cooking used to be before I had the Thermomix. So, but for today, normally you leave the kitchen. But for today, I'm actually going to share with you another recipe. I'm going to show you dough mode. So I want to show you some basic bread rolls. Here's one I made earlier because I wanted to be quick for this evening. Hey, today I wanted to show you how to make some basic bread rolls using your Thermomix TM7 on guided cooking. So I'm just going to press start and the recipe loads up here on the screen. So it's asking me to put in 100 grams of wheat grains. It's asking here and the scales are over on the side. So as I pour in, that should just start weighing in. And I've put a little bit extra. I've got 104 grams and that's totally fine. But because I got the right amount in, it's automatically ticking off. Press next. It's going to ask for the lid. So I secure that. It's asking here. It's all very easy to follow the guided cooking. And then we just press play. Okay, that has finished. So I'll just take off the lid and show you what we have here. So the wheat has just been milling very nicely. And we will set that aside. We're going to add that again later. But the texture of the milled wheat is really good. We've made ourselves a new wholemeal flour out of our wheat grains. So the reason why you'd want to do that, no, you have a think, why would you want to make your own wholemeal flour? It is actually a lot healthier to mill your grains fresh and have all those vitamins in there that are lost after a few days of the milling process. So if you can mill fresh and eat fresh, it's really much healthier for you to get the benefits of the wheat grain. So we keep going on. It's asking me to set it aside. So now we're just adding in our water. So the recipe is asking for 300 grams of water. I just pour it in, watching over here on the scales that go in 1 gram increments. And I like to slow down when I get close, just to make sure I don't go over. And now it's asking for 2 teaspoons of yeast. And I like to keep my yeast in the freezer to keep it active. And it's still very pourable. Like you can see the texture of the yeast even straight out of the freezer. It's easy to use from there. And now we are going to activate that yeast with that water on 37 degrees. So another great thing about the Thermomix is the temperature options that you have. So I've set this, well, the recipe is guiding us through and it's set up for 2 minutes, 37 degrees, speed 1. If you come in here, you can see all the different temperature options. So 37 is your body temperature, perfect for activating yeast or fermenting, making yogurt, things like that. You can change it, so you can choose, I'm not going to right now, but you can choose to go up to, so say 45 to temper your chocolate, up to, I like to use somewhere between 70, 80 or 90 for working with milk, so you know your milk's not going to burn, and then above 100 for your cooking. That has now activated, so it will ask me for the next ingredient. So all along the way, you just press next and do what it says. The scales come up when you need them. It's very simple. So making your own bread, it's really cool because you know everything that's going in it. There's only a few ingredients. I've just put in extra virgin olive oil, and now it's going to ask for baker's flour, which is different to plain flour. You can get it in quite big bags at the supermarket, fruit shop, or wherever you get your flour, but it has more protein than plain flour, so it's perfect for making bread. And yeah, that looks good. Just over 400 grams of plain baker's flour. And then we want a teaspoon of salt, which I've milled myself in a Thermomix. Buy your rock salt. I buy the Himalayan rock salt. Mill it for 10 seconds, speed 10. And you've got your own additive-free cooking salt. And then we are going to add our wheat flour. Remember that from a little bit earlier. And we will knead that dough. So 2 minutes to knead. And that's the equivalent of a good 20 minutes of hand punching. So you can save a lot of time if you want to make your own bread by just letting the machine do it for you. And then you can shape it however you like. So I'm just going to make some dinner rolls today, but you can do a loaf, a cob, shape it into cool different designs that look pretty, or braid, or whatever you want to do. Some of the other breads that my family like, we love the focaccia bread. We do pizza fairly often, and then specialty breads like hot cross buns and brioche and pretzels. My kids love making pretzels. So the Thermomix is really good for all your doughs, and it's all very quick. So most dough is done in 5 minutes, and then you just need to let it rise and bake in your oven. So pretty cool. I love that you know what's going in it. It's very cheap to make. So this batch of dinner rolls probably cost me around $1. That's possibly even overestimating. But yeah, so saving money, cutting out additives. It's quick, so it's not like it's taking you all day to do. And then nothing beats the flavor of it fresh out of the oven. So plenty of reasons why you want to make your own homemade bread, and how cool that the Thermomix does it for you very easily. Okay, our dough has been rising nicely, and I just wanted to show you how to shape it and put it in the oven. So I have not turned the oven on. The recipe did not ask me to do that, and there's a good reason for it. While the oven, anytime you're making bread, it usually needs 2 rises. So we've done 1 rise here. And now while the oven is preheating with the rolls inside, they'll do their second rise. So it's a really energy efficient, but also really effective way for the bread rolls as well. So I'm just opening up my package. My dough has been rising very nicely. I want to get it back into sort of a ball or a log. So I'm just going to get these pieces off the silicone mat. So now is when you can shape it in whatever you want. My kids normally prefer to shape this into scrolls. So I would roll it out in a rectangle the size of the mat, cut strips, add cheese, Vegemite, spinach, whatever you choose on the day. It's different. But today I am just making dinner rolls. Now you can cut it with your spatula, or what I actually have, the Thermomix shop also sells these dough sort of scrapers, which are really handy. Don't ever use anything super sharp on your Thermomat because of the silicone. You don't want to cut inside. But these tools you have here are really good. So if you want them to be a uniform kind of size, I just kind of half to get 16. Some people, if you want to be super exact, you can actually weigh each little bit of dough out. I don't think it's ever really necessary to go that far, but that's totally up to you. And so, and yeah, obviously you can do them bigger if you want to, if you don't want to do tiny rolls. And so now it's up to you to choose how you want to shape them. And I just do really basic sort of dinner rolls. Nothing fancy is happening here. But that's up to you. And I also, if you wanted separate dinner rolls, you'd place them separately on the tin so that they're not touching. But I am actually going to have them touching so that they pull apart from each other at the end, which is the texture that I prefer because it means there's more soft sides. Okay, so there's our rolls, and I'm just going to really gently press down on them. They will puff back up in the oven, and you can just put them in the oven right now as they are, but I am also going to just do some seeds on top. So I'm brushing really quickly with some water. I think that'll do. And then putting some sesame seeds on, just so they look a bit fancier. Completely optional. Okay, so I've just pulled the bread rolls out of the oven so you can see them all here. I don't know if that's better. Um, Beautifully browned on top. You can see they're all stuck together, so they have risen together nicely. Actually need that. And I'll just break one off to show you. It's still really hot, so using my tongs. But yeah, so on the inside, so browned top and bottom, and then on the inside it's just like super light and fluffy. Yeah, I should have gone that way. Yeah, beautiful bread roll. They smell so good and are always the best fresh out of the oven. Can cut one in half to show you the inside. I don't know. It's gonna start fogging up the screen. But yeah, beautiful homemade whole meal and homemade bread rolls. So yeah, enjoy. Okay, so this is just counting down its last few seconds. Now, the next step of this is to remove the varoma, add our coconut cream, and then do our open lid cook. So that's something that we can do only in the TM7. TM7 has open lid cooking. So when you take your varoma off the top, open it away from you because the contents are very hot. Unless you want a steam facial, we won't do that. And then set that aside. We're going to take our lid off. and it looks good. Find somewhere to plonk that. I can show you what the curry is already looking like. I mean, it smells good, and I know it is good because I have actually made this many, many times. So I'm adding some coconut cream now. I want 90 grams, so you can't see what I'm doing. My coconut cream is a bit separated because it's like the organic one, but you know, the other thing you can do is make coconut cream in your Thermomix. That's just another cool thing you can do. So it wants me to stir with my spatula just to combine that coconut cream ahead of it doing its open cook. Okay, being fabulous. So now I press play. The lid is not on and it's going. So in open cooking mode, the blades are not moving, but it is heating away, heating up, and it will be bubbling, kind of like a saucepan. So if you're wanting to thicken something, I don't know if you can hear it sizzling away. Actually, I can just come and show you. Let's see if this will work. Bubbling away in there. And now I'm steaming up my laptop. Of course. Yeah, it's open lid cooking. It's pretty cool. So I wanted to show you another new feature of the TM7 that isn't in previous modes, and that is our browning mode. The TM6 had browning function within recipes, but this one has it just as a manual mode. So what I want to show you now isn't really a recipe. I just want to show you a basic function of the TM7, which is the browning mode. So I've come to my mode screen. I'm pressing browning, and I am actually just going to turn my scales on to add 20 grams of oil. Whenever you're using browning mode, you need a bit of oil. And I'm using extra virgin, but you use your oil of choice. And actually, before we start, I'll show you up here. There is a tip section. So when you're first using a mode, it's a good idea to come in and have a read and learn how to use that mode. So it talks about, you know, using oil and cutting things uniformly. And then there's tips on what you'd use gentle mode for versus intense mode for browning. But whatever the other modes are, they give you the tips that are relevant for that one. So yeah, gentle browning mode versus intense. Intense you'd use for more browning meat or veggies that have a higher liquid content, like zucchini, capsicum, mushrooms, those types of things. So today I am just going to use, oh, went out of it. Yeah, I'm just going to set it for 10 minutes, 160 degrees gentle. Here would be where you change it to be intense. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. And I am going to find myself back on the screen. I've just got one onion and I've cut it in wedges. And normally I do let the Thermomix cut my onion for me, but today I'm not showing you chop mode. I'm showing you browning mode. So I'm going to press play. I've left this one off to let excess steam get out while it's browning. And I will show you what it looks like after 10 minutes. I know I said I'd come back after 10 minutes. It's only been 1.5 minutes, but I actually wanted to see if you could hear the sizzling, and it actually already is starting to smell really good. So I want to show you that on a low speed in the TM7, you can open the lid at any time and have a look in, have a peek and see what's happening. So I wouldn't normally do that right now, but I just wanted to show you. You can see the oil is bubbling away in there, sizzling, and it actually is already smelling really good. And as soon as you put the lid back on, it just carries on doing what it was doing. So at any point in time, just take the lid off, add ingredients, have a stir, have a look, back on, and you're going again. So yeah, okay, I really will be back when it's done. Okay, that has finished. Just did its countdown. So take off the lid. Oh, you can see it's still sizzling away in there, nice and hot. Hopefully that's not fogging up the screen. But yeah, there's our onions nicely browned on the gentle mode of high heat mode. And I'll just put it aside so you can see what we have here. And That's just one onion. So sauteed nicely, 10 minutes, and that's not even with preheating. That's another option. You can preheat the bowl as well if you want to. I didn't bother today. Um, yeah. So, and those brown marks that are at the bottom of the bowl, we do have a specialized browning mode self clean. So, if you ever have those brown marks, you do put in water up enough to cover the blades, a drop of dishwash liquid or vinegar, and set it to the browning self clean mode, and it will lift off all those brown marks really nicely. But yeah, those are our onions, nicely browned. If you wanted to go longer, you could, like you're in control, so do whatever you want. But I think those are great, and they actually smell so good. Okay, I just wanted to show you that I've just done a self-clean mode. So I've gone into pre-clean, chosen the browning one. I put in a drop of dishwash liquid and a bunch of water. And now that's what it looks like at the end. So you can see I just need to rinse it out, and maybe there's one little brown mark left that will just lift off really easily with my Thermomix brush. This Thermomix brush, you can get it from the website. It does a really good job of spinning around and getting in all the grooves. So just around, and then that should be, I think I got it all. Give it a quick rinse, and we're clean. Ready for the next dish. Obviously dry it. So that was our high heat mode to do basic onions. I know it's such a basic thing to show, but it just shows the mode. And then self-clean mode, no elbow grease needed in scrubbing pots and pans with the Thermomix self-clean mode. And while that was showing, about a minute ago, our curry finished. So we have, a beautiful cauliflower rice. And if you don't like cauliflower rice, skip that part of the recipe and just make your own normal rice. That's okay to do. And then we've got our beautiful curry. I didn't need that much. And looking so good. Garnished with some, oh, that was a very generous helping of coriander. And we've got our delicious curry, made without breaking a sweat. You've hardly spent any time in the kitchen, and you've got this beautiful, authentic curry that you can have for dinner. And it's just delicious. So I love the open cooking mode for that. I know I'm trying to whiz through. There's one more important thing about the Thermomix that I need to show you guys, and that is Cookidoo. Okay, so our Cookidoo website, sorry, I need to be able to see it. You can literally just like type in anything, like I can't even think, but I don't know, I just saw some apples in my fruit bowl. So type in a word and it's going to give you so many recipes, like 954 different apple recipes. If you know specifically what you want to make, like if you really want to make Mongolian lamb, type it in and the recipe will be there. But if you don't know what you want to make, type in an ingredient like chicken or apple or like whatever it is you want to use. And then if you really don't know what you want to cook, but you know it wants to be a healthy dinner, just type in the word healthy dinner. It's actually better to use your filters to do dinner recipes. If I type in the word healthy, then I would come to my filters and choose, whatever you want it to be. Approaching Christmas, I would be wanting to see what kind of Christmas recipes are on here, just to get inspiration when you really don't know what to cook. But it's like you can be inspired. Or if you have guests coming over, type in entertaining, or even just type in the word fancy or gourmet or something, and you'll be given so many different options, and you can use your filters to filter down. Once you know what you want to make, you can press these three dots next to it and send it as a bookmark, add it to a list. So those are like your own folders. Make a meal plan. So say you want to make that Saturday, and also add to your shopping list. So now when I come to my week, my recipes are all there. And my shopping list is all here as well. This is on the app and the website, and it's also on the machine itself. Most of these features as well. So it puts your shopping list in recipes or by category. So it makes it really convenient while you're shopping. If you've already got something at home, just tick it off before you go. And then as you put it in your trolley, tick it off. But if you don't want to be the one doing the shopping, you can press share or press order. And you need 100 ingredients or less to do the order. Oh, I went through showing someone this today and I must have added a million ingredients. Sorry about that. Yeah, 100 is the max on that, just so you know, but who would need more than that? That's crazy. So it puts all your shopping list ingredients straight into your Woolies online account. And if you don't like the brand they've chosen, just press swap and choose a different one and you're good to go. So that's Cookidoo in a really quick nutshell. It's just a fabulous recipe platform. Now, just so you know, Cookidoo is a subscription-based platform, so it is $89 a year to subscribe. When you first purchase your Thermomix, you get 3 months free. So you've got a good amount of time to decide whether you want to keep subscribing or not. If you don't subscribe, you can still absolutely use your Thermomix on manual mode or using the built-in 200 recipes that are built in. Now, when you come to the machine after you've been, oh, I better show you how to finish this recipe. Finish, ta-da! When you come into your machine, those recipes that you've organized within Cookidoo are here. So your bookmarks are up here. Your recipe lists are over here. You can also create your own recipes and add them in. So these are some of our family favorites that I've inputted myself to be guided cooking. And then your meal plan is down here. So on any given day, you can come here and just say, oh, okay, this must be what we're making today. Let's go into it. So that's just makes life really easy. So convenience, being organized, cutting out waste, saving money, only getting what you need, and just making life in general a lot easier, which is what the Thermomix is all about. So the price of the Thermomix is $2,649. We have a promotion on at the moment, which is trade up. So if you have a previous model Thermomix, you can trade it in to get a buyback discount off your TM7. So whether you have a TM21, 31, TM5, or TM6 will depend on what your end price will be on trading it in for the TM7. We also have the new Cutter Plus available as a host reward and our new Thermo server available as a host reward. I will send info about that tomorrow in the email. But yeah, if you're wanting to see the Thermomix in person with a couple of friends where we make a few different dishes, that could be a really good option for you, but also to get a reward and learn more about the Thermomix at the same time. But if you find yourself, this could be any of you on here today, if you find yourself raving about the Thermomix, you can come and join us and become a consultant yourself. We have a lot of fun together. For me, I love that it's flexible hours that I'm choosing for a pretty good income, just for having fun cooking and sharing with people about how great the Thermomix is. I just love talking about it. So that's another option you have as well. If you're interested in getting the information about what's involved in being a consultant, please just reach out to either your consultant or to myself, and we'll be able to help you with that. I'm trying to think. It's like 8 o'clock, and I'm trying to think what else I haven't covered yet tonight. But basically, yeah, Thermomix. Oh, we have different payment options as well. So if you're wanting to put it on 24 months interest-free plan, or Afterpay, or the earn option where you can earn the Thermomix yourself as well. And then when your Thermomix arrives, logistically, you place an order via a link that we'll send you. Logistically, it takes about 7 to 10 days for it to be dispatched and come to you. And then it's up to you whether you want to learn in your own time with a video lesson or whether you want one of us to come out and help you get set up and show you the buttons and cook your first dish with you, which is another fun part of our job, which we love to do because that's the exciting day when the new customer gets their new Thermomix. So yeah, and then ongoing, we have customer service available. So as you have questions, you just reach out to us and we're always happy to help. Yes, Francisca's saying if you want to use Afterpay, you do have to already have an Afterpay account. Thank you for clarifying with that one. Yeah, so that's the end of our demonstration tonight. I am